What's going on, everybody? You already know what it is. Your boy, Mr. Howard, Chris Howard, whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me broke. We are here at the JUICEBOX Podcast, and we have the one and only Jonathan Smith.
Yes.
How you doing, good brother?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you, brother?
I'm blessed, man. You know, another day, another dollar.
That's it, man.
And just doing what we do.
That's right, man. Creating the art, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get right into it a little bit about how we met. We met through a mutual person.
Yes, we meet through a mutual friend, yes.
Yeah.
You know, and, we got connected basically off one of the music, videos that you were conducting.
Yeah.
And stuff, which was, really good, by the way. Very creative space, good quality. You do good work in the community.
Thank you, good brother.
As well. And, I do my thing with the STEM community as well, like teaching young kids about STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Okay, nice.
Basically, I tutor kids, the programs that I do, I come into like these community centers, predominantly in Springfield, Mass.
Yeah.
And I come in and kind of show my story about myself as an engineer and what I could bring to the table, helping kids develop in their goals and the direction that they want to.
Okay, nice. So when we first met, that's how we kind of we met one time, and the energy was like,
the energy
it was just like, all right,
high
cool.
vibrations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So you did tell me a little bit about that. So before we get all the way into that, let's get to know you. Let's get to know Jonathan a little bit.
Absolutely.
So where you from?
And stuff. I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay, born and raised.
Born and raised, yes.
Nice. Now, what's your heritage background?
And stuff. So my heritage is I'm Kenyan, and I also have a little bit of Jamaican heritage as well.
Oh, so that's where the grind comes from.
Yeah, that's where the grind comes from, man. Yeah, multiple jobs, man.
That's definitely where the grind comes from. Nice. So, what part of Springfield were you born?
So I was born I was born actually at Bay State Medical Center on Carew Street. As well, but I grew up in the area of over by Cooley Street, Springfield area. Yeah, so over by that Burlington Coke Factory, 7-Eleven.
Nice. Y'all have a little bit more money than everybody
else.
A
little bit and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say that now. We definitely had struggles, everything like that. So working through it and stuff like that. Just trying to navigate my way through Springfield. Build connections and everything. Having difficulties with even math and sciences.
Okay.
That's one of my reasons I started, because I wanted to help youth in the city. Help them develop. As well to kind of just basically fulfill their dreams. Their aspirations.
So for me, I always like to dig a little deeper. It's
absolutely,
there has to be a rhyme and a reason for things. So growing up, is this something you always wanted to do, or was there a moment in life where you was like, hey, an event happened and then you was like, okay, this is what I need to tap into?
I've always been into the community and everything like that. I grew up in church as well too, Third Baptist Church on 149 Walnut Street in Springfield and everything. So I was always involved in community things, whether it be, for rights and education system. I've always kind of been an activist naturally, in my community, So I always knew that I wanted to do something to to make change and everything like that. But I also knew that I wanted to lead my community. I just didn't want to leave it behind, and everything like that. I wanted to help my people develop and, provide those resources to education. Cause sometimes we all have great teachers, but they kind of put everybody in a classroom expecting them to be on the same level, and then learn a singular way. There's multiple ways of learning, and we should promote that. That's what creates the diversity amongst people learning.
So why are you so passionate about that?
So I'm so passionate about it because one, I love working with kids, I love engineering, my career as a whole. I just wanted to have my own company. I've always had that entrepreneurship mindset. Yeah. So I always wanted to make change in these kids' lives, and I coach AAU basketball for Defy the Odds at Higher Expectation, my friend Jordan Almore's gym.
Nice.
And actually one of my first opportunities came from Tyrell Springer as well. In Springfield, Mass. He played ball for LSU a while, things like that, at Louisiana State University. Played ball for Central High School here. We kind of connected and, became really good friends, we developed that, not just that business, friendship connection, but also that friendship as well.
Right. So how important is, if a youth is watching right now, how important is it to you to turn your passion into a business?
Right, exactly. So the way I turn my passion into the business is I I'm very passionate about the fields, as you could tell, in our vibrations and the energy from the interactions that we've had together.
100%.
So basically, like, the way I turn the passion into business is like, I want to take, these youth and everything, tutor them, develop them, and, and work with these other programs in Springfield as well. I'm open to collaborating too, to be able to, like, send these kids to colleges, send these kids, see them develop, that's like my lifelong, like, goals, to see them succeed, in life and what they want to do, I realize not everyone wants to study engineering, but I can provide them alternative ways from my other experiences as well to kind of fulfill what they want in their life.
So is that like the main thing that you're focused on?
That's the main thing, I'm focusing on.
And what does that look like? What is engineering? Because engineering is a big field.
It's a very broad field, man.
So where are we at, like, with engineering? Are you like,
yes.
Is it like mine engineering, or is it actual physical engineering?
Yeah, it's physical engineering. Okay. So I'm a mechanical engineer by trade. So basically I design systems and components for like aircraft and like power systems. So, but there's different types, and I'll kind of break that down too.
Yeah.
So there's manufacturing engineers. They're more of like your hands-on people. So they're working your machines. Right. They're making sure your tooling gets developed. They're making sure that, that things are in place, for product development.
Absolutely.
As well, and they're pretty much ensuring that, the aircraft is working well,
Okay.
And then you have quality engineers, which are basically, they come in and they work with the cross-functional teams. They make sure that the parts are like conforming. So when you think of like a fuel metering unit or like, a carburetor or a compressor, on a plane, quality is like, okay, this can't go because we have checks and balances in place.
Right.
And we have dimensions that they call them non-conformances, dimensions that don't meet the drawing.
Gotcha.
So basically, like, with all of that being said, it's like you have to make sure that quality, make sure these policies are being followed. And the specs, which are basically general guidelines, like, hey, you can't heat this metal up past 115 degrees, just general guidelines along with instructions.
Yeah. So what I'm kind of hearing is like the engineering you're talking about.
Yes.
It correlates with life engineering.
It does, absolutely.
And mindset engineering.
It does mindset. Yeah, it all coordinates together because like your mind has to be, when you're doing engineering, your mind has to be clear, and you have to be open to working with other cross-functional teams,
Right.
Because, manufacturing might see things like, hey, like, this component works, it's, it doesn't affect form, function, or fit, but quality is like, well, we got this half obliterated part, you know what I mean? We just can't ship it like that, even though it is a cosmetic defect, you know what I mean? And then there's certain surfaces like customer interface surfaces in which they can't be damaged as well. So
I love that metaphor, man, because it's like, if people really tap into that, it really explains how to be successful in your ideas.
Yes.
Right. So like one person can't just do everything and make it successful.
Exactly.
It has to, and the more minds, the more greater minds, the better the product comes out at the end anyway.
Absolutely.
Right?
Exactly.
So for instance, let's just say I have an artist, right?
Yes.
Okay. He goes to the studio, he has his engineer, right? You have the producer, and then you have the A&R, then you have the record label, then you have the street team, then you have, so it's like all of these processes that have to go through in order to get the final product. If people could just understand that and come together, and make this one thing work, then that's like, I feel like one of the keys to success.
That is one of the keys to success. And a lot of engineers, like people, everybody's role is important. And that's one thing I want to like highlight, you know what I mean? Like, so quality's no better than manufacturing. Manufacturing's no better than operations. You know, we're all integrating cross disciplines, you know, amongst the field for the main goal, you know, ensuring you're safe on that plane, you know, you got your headphones in, your AirPods, you got your neck pillow, you know, and you like know that you're going to get to Chicago or you're going to get to LA or you're going to get to Atlanta, you know, safely, you know, because the engineers check that out, you know, and like I said, for certain engineering changes kind of, you know, break down the process of that, you know, so for any design change, it has to go through a stage of like 7 sets of approvals, you know what I mean? So it's just not something that gets changed right away, you know, and then
I like that. That might have to be a new poster or something. Seven sets of approval.
7 sets of approval.
Oh,
yeah,
I like that.
Maybe that might be the next podcast series. That's tough.
7 sets of approval. I love that. Yeah.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
But a lot of the engineering concepts you can apply to the mine, and I'll touch on others too, like civil. They work on bridges, and
So how did you get into that? Because you talking, and you got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
And so did you go to school for that?
Yeah. So the way it works with the education system, the way it works, so I kind of fell into it naturally. I started off with my uncle and kind of like my father, basically working on cars and things. My uncle was an electrician by trade. And like my dad, he, also had the opportunities to, do like business stuff as well, and like the thing about it is like, like with them two together, and just being around them, I learned how to mess with cars, like how certain stuff function. I always had a curiosity of that, Right. So I did carpentry in high school because they didn't really have machining at the time, now they do, I'll wait till I graduate.
Absolutely.
So I did carpentry, I studied that, started like learning how like structures come together, and that's all integrated in engineering. It's all the same concepts. It's just you're working with wood versus metal.
Right.
So
is this scope that you're in? Is this like how important you think it was for you to actually have those male role models?
It was
like your
very,
father and your uncle.
It's very important for me to have those like role models. I feel like that plays a big part. And one of the reasons why like I started this business too is like I want to be the role model for those youth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because
I commend you on that, man.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Absolutely. And, that's giving back in its own.
Yeah, it is.
Whether it's not financial knowledge, you can't.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to spread, like I've always been one of those people that have been like transparent and open, like sharing the knowledge with people, you know what I mean? Like, like I said, if, we wanted to sit down together or, even, little Chris, do some engineering activities. I'm open to sharing that knowledge I've learned over the years so he can have it and he can be 5-6 years in advance,
That's amazing.
As well,
Oh, sorry. I should have had
okay.
this.
Yeah, but that's what basically,
So, next question I was going to ask.
On the education piece. Yeah. So.
The education.
Yeah, the education. So typically for engineering, for education, you typically need a bachelor's degree in engineering, to be considered for like any large company. Some companies you can have your associate's degree in engineering. Yeah. I got my associate's in welding technology from the community college. But it was a little tougher to get in the larger organizations because they really do look for that 4-year. But there are small shops that are willing to give you a chance, train you, kind of teach you those skills.
Okay.
Like
how old are you?
I'm 30. I just turned 30 this year.
You're young, man.
Yeah, man.
You're young.
I'm in my prime, man.
You're young with a lot of knowledge,
30,
man.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what's the name of your company?
The name of my company is Rising Geniuses. You can catch me on Instagram under Rising Geniuses. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook as well.
Nice.
I'm on LinkedIn too.
Yep. So what does that process look like with a kid kind of like getting with you?
Yes. So the process is, I'm easily available to like reach out on social media, I do both private individual tutoring as well as group tutoring settings.
Okay.
Basically what I do is I assess kids based on where they're at and, what their needs are, have a better understanding where they are in the class and set goals for them as to where they want to be in the class.
Nice.
Or for their graduation, because I feel like an important part of like the education piece, especially with kids being in school is, because, sometimes they don't see it till later, So it's like, I feel like for my business and everything, I want kids to be able to perform academically and excel,
Right.
in both middle school and high school. So when the time, if they think about college or they're like, hey, I want to do trade school.
Yeah.
Their GPA is high, scholarships rolling in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of trying to also develop my own scholarship for kids in the community of Springfield. So that like they can go to school, they can pursue whatever major career. And I'm not just gonna confine it to STEM because I know everybody has a lot of different interests.
Yeah.
So I'll combine it with, STEM, because even I know we call it STEM, there's also another acronym which is STEAM, which incorporates the arts. Because engineering is an art as well too,
Absolutely.
So I'm going to implement, arts as well as part of the, the STEM program,
Is the main goal for you to open up your own school?
Yeah, I really want to open up my own community center. That's really my goal. I want to open one up in Springfield,
nice.
Open up one in CT and, a couple other various places where kids can learn different things, you know, about engineering as well as the art part of it, where kids can express their poetry or express those selves, in the way that they best know how.
Right. All right, so let's get to a different area of the youth. Mm-hmm. What do you think is causing the youth to not excel the way they should be? Let's just say in Springfield.
Okay, all right. So we'll go over some of those like variables that affect youth in that community. Mm-hmm. So I feel like one of the things and to be positive about, I think that kids struggle with is I think a lot of it is, some of the resources are getting cut back, like your trade school programs. I think not everybody is hands-on. Some people are technical. Some people are analytical, So I feel like with that being said, I feel like a lot of kids are, they're either, like trying to look for those role models, and it's kind of hard to get in contact with those role models.
Right.
Or the programs are, like I said, the programs are too high. So it's like, or it's just transportation issues even as well. Hey, I want my kid to be in this program, but transportation isn't being provided. So how am I going to step up? And it's a lot for like the parent as well to bring these kids, come pick up and everything, like pick up their kid, bring them back, and do, you're really wearing a lot of hats in these capacities,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of that is like, the role models, trying to identify who their role models are, I feel like a lot of kids go through a lot of like personal things, that, they don't really open about for various reasons, which is, okay. But I feel like, the role models and just trying to identify who they are and, and trying to spread themselves in. But I mean, I'm not going to lie, since like helping like coach, because like I'm an assistant coach for the School of Commerce, a freshman coach.
Oh, nice.
As well, working with Coach Nate and, Tyrell Springer as well, and Kamari Robinson, and Coach Neek. Okay. So I feel like a lot of that it's tough. I feel like now coaching, it's really opened my eyes to a lot, like seeing some of these things these kids, face and they go through, and they just need role models,
100%.
Like to help guide them, and
100%.
I think it's tough because schools only have a certain amount of hours to really teach them things, and they're really like at the end of the day, like they're going home and, they're faced with a lot. They're faced with, the mental health, issues that they're facing, and they're cutting, and then resources are being cut, like counseling and mental health, things that can help, having a positive effect on them, to change their mindset and their positivity, So I feel like those are a few things that kind of, making kids struggle, in the community.
100%. I wish we had more people like you, man. Like, the
and
youth is,
well.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. The youth is like, they are the future. And it's really sad. I work with teens in recovery.
Okay.
So ages 13 to 17 kids who, come from homes with substance abuse, and then they get into substance abuse 8, 9 years old, and now and they're in recovery at 13 years old,
Exactly.
So I see it on a daily basis on how role models are so needed, and it's hard for us as role models because, I hate to bring it up, but the music they listen to.
Yes, it has an effect on
it has a major effect. And that's, I feel that is one of the real things that we're facing.
Yes.
Reality versus,
exactly.
Music.
Music,
and a certain type of music.
Certain types, exactly.
And then they don't even understand that, the labels, and they put this type of music out there for numbers, for your attention.
It's all about the algorithms.
Yeah, it's all about the algorithm.
But we're not focusing on the mental aspect of that because music has an effect on your mental ability,
100%.
So if you're listening to negative music, you're more or less are likely to think more negatively, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And stuff about.
Just like when I was just playing the music we was listening to.
Exactly.
I listened to that because I don't want to listen to nobody killing. I'm not
exactly.
killing anybody all day. I'm not popping pills all day. So
me neither. Exactly.
It's not something that I want to listen to.
You want to listen to. You want to listen to somebody. Like it's one thing to listen to music that's negative, but there's also music that you listen to that they illustrate, their experiences. Like one of my favorite rappers I got to see perform in person was Nas, you know what I mean?
Oh, man.
So
I knew that's why we connected.
That's why we connected.
I went to see him at Foxwoods a couple.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Foxwoods or Mohegan.
Yeah, I seen him in like Massachusetts. It was like, like Roxbury. It was far. I was like 3-hour drive, but I'm seeing Nas.
Oh yeah, that's Nas.
Stuff.
Absolutely.
But it was worth it. But like I said, I really, and I think that's why I got more into because I also do poetry as well too. So might
what's your sign?
It's the Pisces.
Pisces.
February. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, man. How about your sign, man?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Man.
Yeah,
that's right, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we click, man.
Absolutely. When you go into these classes and you talk to these kids, what is the response like?
Right. So the response is like very positive. I think it's, it's happy. The kids are happy to like see the energy I bring, and like the passion I bring, and they can see that I definitely care, and that's what I definitely like let the kids know when like I go in the classroom. I'm like, listen, kids, I'm not here to just show a face for like, a news article or, I'm going to be back doing this hard work that, for Rising Geniuses to help you guys succeed, and stuff. Absolutely. And I share my socials, my number with them, as well, just so they can stay connected with me as well. And I can see how they're doing, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I had one kid, I was at the Darren Lee Jr. Resource Center, over on Dickinson Street. I was, kids were very in tune to the listening, what was going on about STEM and, and, they were very engaged. They were even asking me, they're like, so what do some of the engineers do? Like they were really thinking, and they were like, they're like, Mister, how much you make? I'm like, I keep it confidential.
Of course it has to come
keep it confidential, But, I let them know the ballpark,
you
know, and things like that. I'm not going to shy away from them, but, they had a lot of great questions, and they were really engaged, and like, they're like my motivation for really doing this, continuing to doing the work I do, because it's helping them in like the long term, and stuff, being that positive role model for them, And I tell them, I'm like, guys, like, I do various things too. I do poetry. I recite a little poem for them, and my poem called Community, and so I go by the Rising Genius. So
absolutely,
So but it's been good though. It gives them, and I told them we're gonna do workshops with them as well too, and we're gonna like build, and we're gonna connect as well, and we're bringing in additional resources from like other companies, facilities as well, such as like the Truth Booth, they have their 360 platform, and everything. So, and then my friend Jordan with Higher Expectations, we're kind of working together to like really build it up, build these kids' confidence. We got the photos, we got the gym, the Higher Expectations, my friend Jordan Almore, he's doing great things as well too. To just touch off some of the great things happening in Springfield. He does AAU, does a lot of training programs, and he has a whole concession stand, get your protein shakes, all of that, get right.
Nice.
And he has open gyms, and stuff like that as well. But you definitely can pull up. We got a event too coming up, which leads me May 25th, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Basically, we're gonna have companies come from like Connecticut, Massachusetts, STEM related, and we're gonna have them set up tables, tell the kids about what they do. So if you're free.
So for these events like that, how hard is it to actually get the kids to come out?
Yeah, so
I mean, obviously you got to touch on the parents, and the parents.
No, absolutely, yes. So it is, a bit tough. So like the way I've kind of been doing it, which is nice. So like my friend at the Higher Expectation, he has kids in his program. So, we kind of incorporate those kids as well. And also from other programs that I do around the city, we get them to come. 'Cause a lot of them are in Springfield or kind of nearby, and we've always kind of been like the type of people, growing up and things like that, where it's like, okay, if you can't get to an event and you're really interested in it, we coming in the car, we pack in the car, we bringing the kids to the event, that's kind of how we were raised and everything, just get them there in the space, to hear it, even if, we're running a little late, and, of course, you got to have catering, you got to have some food, and stuff like that. Coming for the food,
Absolutely.
And stuff. So like, we get them engaged, and, I'm having speakers come as well. I have a couple friends that are in engineering as well for some pretty good companies, such as like, Raytheon, Pratt & Whitney, Triumph, Engine Control Systems. I used to work there. Just various companies in Connecticut, just
so
to show
the
kids.
You have a good network, a good body of network to actually make the change. And people, obviously, when you reach out to them, they support you.
Exactly, yes.
And so is there any testimonies where like a parent has came to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I have a few testimonies. I had one kid. I'll start with. He's one of the players on the varsity team, and everything like that. So goes by Lugo, and everything like that. So he's one of the centers, So I help work on his post moves. He's a real great kid, real smart, intelligent kid. That we got at Commerce, where he's graduating this June, so we're proud of him. But he went from struggling in chemistry to just becoming very knowledgeable in it. He bumped his grade up by like 3 letter grades.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Just a couple met with me. You know what I mean? We met at Springfield Public Library, and stuff, worked on his homework, a little private one-on-one, and he understands chemistry so much better.
Wow. So are you kind of like, I know you're mentoring a lot, but is there someone that you're kind of like bringing up under you where you can say, okay, I don't have, because it seems like you do a lot.
Yeah, man.
So I don't even know how I got you here to get the interview. You do so much, but is there someone that you kind of like bringing up under you to say, okay, I feel comfortable, or within a year, I'll feel comfortable with this person stepping into my role?
I do have a few people in that role, willing to help. I'm definitely getting in the swing of things. Like I said, I got established in 2022, but definitely opportunity for growth. I'm looking to bring like a PR director, bring in an accountant, as well, and, bring in, some compliance officers as well, for the legality of things and everything. So, I'm definitely looking to expand, open up our office here in Springfield.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, I'm, real grateful. Also, I'm real grateful for this opportunity, being able to, be in this space with you, what I mean?
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
And stuff,
the door's always open for a
two
good brother
kings
like
doing
you.
their thing, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
You doing your thing with your arts and, your creativity and your music and, what you do in the space, and that's beautiful because, and things like that. And you're taking on people and you're showing them things as well too, man. Which is so important.
It's so important, man.
Because that time spent with that kid, you're building up their confidence so high. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and they'll remember you for life. They'll be like, yo, Chris, he took the time with me, or Jonathan took the time with me to really teach me STEM. And he's still connected with me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean? Touchable. You're able to reach out and touch. Even that we have all these things going on. I always tell my guys, like, I can make you millionaires by 20 because I wish I had the information.
Absolutely.
If I had the information at 15, 13 years old, we would be, so far ahead, but everything happens for a reason. We need to stay where we are in order to spread that.
To spread that love and spread the community and everything. Yes.
Yep. So, all right, on a more personal note.
Yes.
How do you do so much and stay like leveled?
Or
do you feel like you're all over the place?
So the thing is, I'm definitely everywhere. But the thing now, one of the things that I will say, and I'm not ashamed to say it and stuff, like one of the things that always kept me grounded is like my faith, you know what I mean, and everything, my faith in God, and everything, And, and just to say this on the interview, everybody has different walks of faith and,
100%.
Different religions and, to connect with and everything. And it's about finding what works for yourself. You know what I mean? And that's important. But my faith in God has like brought me a long way. It's brought me out of some really tough places in my life.
Nice.
Along with, also going through like, therapy programs as well. That helps keep me balanced, and kind of breaking down. My therapist, William Fothergill, always used to say, essential and stuff. He was like, Jonathan, I'll never forget this. He was like, can you take a mountain down with a spoon? You'd asked me that a couple of years ago. Like, you crazy. I'm like, that gotta be a big spoon. And that gotta be made of, some type of steel mixed with some stainless steel alloys.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, that's a mountain, But it makes logical sense because he's like, Jonathan, yes, you can. And this is how you do it. You take smaller tasks and you break it down each week. You have 3 events coming, Jonathan. Don't prepare on Thursday for the event. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't prepare for Thursday on the event, knowing that you got 3 events on Friday. He's saying, he said, but then he really flipped it on me because I shared with him, my great grandfather has a museum in Tennessee and stuff. It's the the Museum of Appalachia. And he was a blacksmith, so a lot of his tools are in that shed. So the public can go, they can see his tools, everything. William Parkey was his name.
Nice.
And it was so interesting. So, my counselor flipped on me. He's like, but what if I'm a blacksmith engineer? And I take multiple spoons and I forge it into one big spoon. And I'm just sitting in my seat like you want the sun?
Yeah,
and things
absolutely.
like that, and but yeah, that's helped keep me level. And I also got to bring up somebody else who was influential as well, in my life, and stuff like, along with my mom and my brother and stuff like that, had a big effect on me, and big, influential, role model, everything. Nathaniel Smith Jr.
Okay.
And I also want to, and my dad, Nathaniel Smith Sr., and my mom, Rosa Smith. And I definitely, and my Aunt Jackie and, my Uncle Nathan, they had a big effect on me growing up.
That's a good back in the half.
Yeah, back in the half. It is. Yeah. It really, it takes a village to really be successful. How do you how you take the framework and everything?
Right.
It takes a village and a community to really graduate, like, well, we'll just say, for example, graduate a college man or college woman,
Yeah.
It's very important. And also I have to give, a big person really, who shaped my community college experience, and that's Ruben Garcia, you know what I mean?
Nice.
Stuff like that. Dude was a U.S. Army vet, and the military was in like the Vietnam War and everything. Ruben, let me tell you, man, this man was 65, but this man had the heart of like a 23-year-old for real. This man was outside.
Those military people, they're different.
Right,
like,
he was,
different. They last long and they're different.
Yeah, man, he was so different. This man would invite us, for gatherings. He really kept us together. He was the glue to the family. So I really got to give a lot of credit to Ruben, like just being there for me, even, when community college was hard, he's like, big guy, what you need? That's what he used to call me, and stuff. So he'd always would, but he'd always invite me and, and my, and our friend group and everything together. And, it was just like a really beautiful just person all around. Like he really brought the people together,
those people, man.
And stuff. And he was just like a beautiful soul for real, like he would always, he'd always make, jokes and stuff like that, like, and just love to have fun. I'd be like, you'd be stressed about something because you don't have money on the card to do printer paper.
Right.
Big guy, I got printer paper in my house. Come on. You know what I mean? That's how Ruben was, Or let's say you forgot your camera. He's like, big guy, I got a camera in my house. Stop by down the road, and stuff. But
those people are key in life.
Yeah, unfortunately, he had passed a few years ago. But like I said, his legacy lives on forever. You know, and he lives with us. So
absolutely,
and everything. So I have to honor him.
Absolutely,
take the time to honor him.
Absolutely. So I don't want to say at the end because it's never.
That's okay.
Stop.
It's never the end.
It's never the end.
It's the rising genius journey. Nipsey had the marathon. Rising genius journey.
Love it. So what is that? What is that final, or let's say that final goal in mind for you? What does that building look like?
So that building, I'm going to walk you through that building, what it looks like, So it's going to be a space where kids can express themselves, where they can have poetry workshops, they can do arts and crafts, they can come in and they can do music, they can make beats, and I'll give a shout out to Chill Shump on the beat. He's doing a lot of things in the Hartford community.
Okay,
he makes he teaches beats, he teaches kids how to make beats, how to do samples, how to mix and master.
Nice.
So shouts out to him out there, and he's doing his thing out there as well.
Nice. Yeah, my artist is looking for beats too. So
we're gonna connect. I'll get you to connect to his Facebook, and he's gonna be opening his studio open. So it's gonna be a beautiful thing. I'll take pictures, everything I'll share with you. And I'll connect you with them as well too. But yeah, definitely.
I love that about you. That's like you.
Yeah,
it might have to be the connect after that.
Right, the connect. Yeah, exactly.
After your name is gonna have to be the connect.
Right, that's right. The connect.
Always, that's a beautiful thing.
Bringing AOL back. And the running man.
That might be a nice little logo.
Exactly, it will. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I like that, man.
Yep. What was I gonna say? So let me ask you more back on a personal level.
Yes.
Is there anything? Are you just running off? I don't want to say running off fumes. I know you got God in your life and your religion.
Yes, absolutely.
But is there anything that kind of like you do throughout the day or you do in the morning that keeps you kind of like focused?
Yeah, I pray every morning before I get up. That helps me like get grounded and set the like means for my day.
Nice.
And stuff when I wake up. That's like one of the first things I do, besides make my bed, and everything. But, I definitely...
Making your bed is key.
It's key, too.
People don't understand how important it is.
It's very important, But one of the things I do before I make my bed, I pray.
Yeah.
And then I make the bed.
Nice.
Because that's important. Two important things, because like the prayer keeps you like grounded. And the one thing that I've like learned in life is like, you're like, even though like faith can't physically be seen, but you physically can feel it. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, it's like when I went through hard times and like dark times, like I relied on my faith, you know, because I said, listen, if this job doesn't work out, the same God that provided me to get that last job is going to come through for me again, you know, and never leave me, you know? 100%. So like, you know, sometime when you develop in your faith, it's kind of hard to, you know, not to get religious, you know, you know, the thing is sometimes like it's hard to really see the light in things when things are getting struggle. You know, you start to think, you know, difficultly like, oh, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay this rent? You know,
100%.
And things like that as well, and go through your struggles, you know. But when you start to build your faith going through like hard times, and like, you're like, yo, like God got me. Like, that's all I need to know, you know, like your perspective and your mindset really shifts in a different way.
It's so wild how much we worry.
Yes.
And the worry does nothing.
Right. And
like it always just works out.
It does. It does. And that's one thing of my counselors, you know, used to share with me, because I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be honest and transparent in this interview. I used to worry a lot 100%. About everything, you know. Like if you told me your car broke down, you know, I don't care if I got no gas. I'm coming to help you, you know, 'cause I'm worried about your health. I'm worried about, you know, are you at an intersection? Are you safe? You know what I mean? Like my mind, you know, it's going crazy, you know?
Absolutely.
So like, that's the thing I used to worry. But one of the things my counselor, you know, we used to say, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, my counselor used to drop gems, you know. William Fothergill was a great counselor. And he was like, he would tell me, he's like, Jonathan, did that person ask you to worry about them?
Ooh.
And then, you know, of course, I'm sitting in my seat.
Right. Right. You ever argue with somebody in your head that's not there?
Huh?
You ever argue with somebody who's not there?
You got it. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like, why am I arguing with this person? That person's not even thinking about me right now.
My counselor always used to say, like, he was like, Jonathan, he's like, that voice of worry in your head, you know, he's like, you know, it's nothing, you know, you worry yourself for no reason, you know what I mean? He's like, what's it called? He's like, does that person have a house? Yeah. Does that person have family? Yeah. Then why you worried?
So why you taking on the worry?
You know, so I used to sink in that seat, like, you know, why you talking to me like that?
Do you still have a therapist?
Yeah, I still have a therapist as well, yes, and stuff. So it's been very good. And young people, I recommend, there's no shame in getting therapy, especially young Black men, young Black women. Like, there's nothing weak about having to get therapy and learning about yourself internally, 100%. You know? Because when I was younger, I used to think that I used to know things that I didn't know. You know what I mean? I was like, I know how to do this. Like when I used to come, we used to have these brotherhood connections meeting where Black men have a safe space, talk about themselves, you know, and express themselves amongst each other.
Are any of those going on anymore?
What they're going on?
The Black men groups, like, is
there's the Urban League. They're still active, and you know, there's some groups going on and everything, you know. But I think, you know, eventually I'll probably get to a point, even within Rising Geniuses, of starting my own group where men can come and we can talk about what we're faced with. Because a lot of us deal with personal things, you know, mental health is a big thing. A lot of it's not talked about. It's swept under the rug. So it's important to highlight those important, you know, things to be able to address those things. Because once you address what's internally and what's within you and mentally, things for you will start to become better. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those skeletons in the closets, you know what I mean, will start to be, you know, in designer. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like,
100%.
And stuff like that.
And it's like, wow, too, man. It's like, you know, we deal with so much on our own as Black men and Black women. But when we get in the same room together, we have billion-dollar ideas.
We have
come so easily, like, no problem. Like, us four can come up with something in 5 minutes that will change the world.
Change the world, exactly.
Yeah, but you know, we don't stay connected as people. We don't keep up with each other. Not saying you don't.
Right, exactly, like absolutely.
You're rotating it rotating it around right now.
We outside.
Yeah. Absolutely. So is there anything you want to ask me? I know I'm asking you.
No, that's okay. It's all right. So I want to talk a little bit like about your business as well too. So what motivated you to start your business? I always was business minded. But I always say I was an entrepreneur before the word, because that word wasn't floating around when I was young. Yes. I was just having like this entrepreneurial spirit, and I didn't even know it was a word to it. You know, so I used to do music. I still do a little bit of music here and there. Nice. But when I really did music, I would always like
not worry so much about the actual music part because that was easy, but it was always the marketing, the business. How can I, profit off of this, or what is this business thing? I know it's something else to it,
right?
And I love information. It's always something else to it that's making everyone else successful. Right. So what is that information that I need?
Exactly.
So I was always like that, and always wondering like, what is behind it? Like I always want to know what's behind the door.
Right. Exactly.
I see the rappers, I see the bling bling and everything, but what's behind that door? What's making that machine happen? The engineering.
Exactly. Yes, it's exactly. Yes.
Entrepreneurial engineering.
Right. Exactly. I love it.
And then as I got older, I just stayed in the field, and then I was like realizing like I started selling DVDs, I started selling CDs, and I was like, oh, like
always had that grind mentality.
And I always say my uncles, like they all sold drugs,
right?
But I always say they was the smartest businessmen who didn't know they were businessmen. They just sold drugs,
right?
But if they just
brought that energy
into a different field, it's really all the same thing,
right? Exactly.
Like who has the best product, who has the product that everybody wants, and it all boils down to just that at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But
what customer service you provide to your clients.
Absolutely. So it doesn't have to. So all the youth out there who think that drugs is the only way, it's not. It's really something that you love and you like, and you providing a service to someone who's in need of that service. So as I just got older, I just started tapping into that.
That's
more,
wonderful. Yeah,
and then I'm just like, all right, then there's this new word called passive income.
Yes.
So now it's these other things, like what's that? So I was just always fascinated and loved the knowledge of, how are they winning and how are we not,
Exactly.
Like I live in this complex, but I understand who owns the complex as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm starting to tap into that person's mind and read up on that person and how can I own 7,000 units.
That's beautiful.
So it's just, it's really all your mind. It's really your mindset and
it's
how
mentality,
you think about everything.
Yeah, and young people, I want to tell you right now and stuff before I go into the next question. Young people, like, believe in yourselves. You know what I mean? Young people, you're going to have, and I'll be honest, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Y'all going to have people that are going to tell you your dreams are too small. You know what I mean? They're going to put limits on your dreams. But let me tell you something. Your dreams are major. Your dreams are massive. Your dreams are beautiful. I see you kings and queens. 100%. I see all of you, and I want to tell you this right now, like, continue to just find something you're passionate about. Find something you really love. You know what I mean? And build off of that. Build a business. Just because you go to a traditional 4-year school, 2-year school, you know what I mean? Go after your dreams. Like I said, I started an engineer and wanted to be a design engineer, finished product. I learned later that's not exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do more in like structure engineering, doing the analysis of things. So, but I started a business to help young people because I want to help you guys reach your goals, along with Chris here with his art and his music and his creativity, along with the Truth Booth, building confidence, as well, So like, we're here as resources to help you guys and what you guys want to develop into. You don't have to have it figured out right now. You don't have to have it figured out in middle school. You don't have to have it figured out in high school. But start research and find things that you love and you're passionate about. If, I know some people start off doing lemonade stands, you know what I mean? And things like that. Some people start off, like doing music, just mixing and mastering. Then they get into videos, you know. You can build into different things, like it doesn't just have to be like, okay, I'm going to go to school. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Times have changed, you know what I mean? 100%. Generations before, and not to say that it was any easier, but generations before had hardships. But there was a time in which you'd work for companies and companies were loyal and you'd have pensions, whether it be from the military, whether it be from jobs, now it's kind of, like the recycle effect, they work you until you're tired, until you can no longer perform, and then you're replaced. So think about starting businesses. This, I started this because I love the youth. I love what I do. I love bringing STEM to light for passion, with the youth and everything. So, tap in with me. Tap in on Rising Geniuses. You got a question, you're not sure what you want to do, let's link up, meet at the library. Let's grab a coffee. I know these young people drinking coffee now, you know what I mean?
And that's what it really takes is a link up, man. Like, meeting up and just breaking bread and talking. And that's definitely, it brings out the inner you.
It does, absolutely.
And you start saying things that you didn't even realize you could say. You start imagining things you can't even imagine before, because if you're not talking to that person to bring it out of you, then it's not gonna come out of you. So your surroundings, who your friends are, who you hang with, all of that plays a part in this engineering.
It's engineering, exactly. Mind engineering.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's the thing. But no, you bring up a great point with friends. Surround yourself with people who are gonna support you. That's a big difference. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna go through a lot of friends in your life. The same friends you were cool with in high school that you might begin with, you might not end with them. You know what I mean? They might have, it's not that, you don't want the best for them, but they might end up in, a different, a different light. We ain't gonna touch on it too much, but a different life, or 100%. A different road, separated from yours. So surround yourself with like-minded individuals. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, so you can help people that support you and drive you. Like, they're, for example, if you were in high school and you on prom committee, you know what I mean? Link up with that friend who's on the prom committee with you and does the arts and crafts, or link up with that friend who's like, he's like, yo, your idea is great, but how about if we put the balloons in like an arc in front of the door, and then we have people walk into the entrances. That's the friends you want around you, because those are the friends you're gonna build lifelong connections with.
Keep building on it.
Keep building on it, and be open to new business relationships, open to new friendships, but surround yourself around good people, because your environment and who you surround yourself with will ultimately, it plays an effect not only on your mental health, but the quality of your life.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Anything else?
Yes. So yeah, I got a couple questions. So one of my other questions is, where can they find you on social media?
Well, they can find me on Instagram.
Okay.
Mr. Howard 413 on Instagram. Big Vision Concepts on Instagram.
Okay, tap in.
I like Instagram. Facebook, people get a little too personal sometimes on Facebook. And get a little too crazy on there. And
definitely tagging people.
And people want to like spill out too much of their life on.
Absolutely.
And then when you scroll on Facebook, you're taking in all those statuses. You're taking in everyone's energy. Everyone's energy. When you're scrolling down that feed, you're taking, so be mindful of, there's so many things to be mindful of. Absolutely. Nowadays. So I post on Facebook, I'm here and there, but I won't scroll too much or do too much. Instagram, it's like set.
Absolutely.
It's like you can scroll a little bit and then you're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, just keep the content kind of going, stuff, stay relevant in like your pages.
Yep.
And then I also think, what is some of the services you provide as well for your business?
All right.
I know it's a vast
So if anybody wants to know like how I came up with everything I do, it was really a dark place that I went through.
Okay.
Right? A really, 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 really dark place.
I respect that.
And I kind of dug myself out of it with the help of God,
Amen.
But it was really a want. And I always say the main thing that really got me to actually doing everything I'm doing was my vision board. My vision board was so key. You could ask my son. I still have vision boards in my living room. It's like almost like a little classroom.
Like he go crazy with the vision boards.
The vision boards is like, so I made my vision board of everything that I want to accomplish, everything that I want to do, and I set it right next to my TV.
That's beautiful.
Right. So whenever I'm sitting on the couch being lazy, my vision board's staring right at me.
I love that, man.
Yeah. And the more I kept seeing it, I was like, all right, I got to take that spoon and dig into the mountain a little bit,
Yes.
So once I started doing that, and literally I did like 90% of everything that was on that vision board.
I love that, and young people, that's good advice that he brought to the table too. Because sometimes people write goals on paper, composition notebooks, and everything. Vision boards are beautiful because you can add imagery, you can add, you manifest what you're trying to have in your life. So you're bringing everything to fruition at the end of the day, so it's important to have those vision boards. So it's like, okay, I don't know what I want to do. Start cutting pictures out of magazines of, role models that you see that, you want to, be in the likely minded individual mindset of that.
Or even just your ideas.
Or your ideas. Put your ideas on your vision board.
Everything was my ideas. Just I wrote a big circle. And then I named my vision board. And then I put the little things outside of it. And then I said, okay, I want to be in the food industry. I want to do this. I want to be in the real estate industry. I want to do this. Cars, this, photography, video, everything. So now I rent cars. I have a small rental-car company. I do photos. I do videography.
Wonderful.
I have a podcast. I have a podcast studio for rent.
You're tapping with this, man.
We have we have our podcast, and we have Sutton Sweets. That's my girl, my fiance.
Wonderful.
She does like cupcakes, cakes, specialty cakes,
amazing. All
of that stuff. We're working on our catering business. We catered our first little event last weekend.
I love that. Congratulations. That's big, man. I'm happy for you.
Appreciate it. So we definitely incorporate whatever you have going on, the Truth Booth photos, or any of the events that we got going on. Because people, as me doing photography, I do a lot of quinceañeras, and they're always asking me if I have one, and I say, no, I don't have one. But now that,
we got the Truth Booth on deck. We got the live, high quality photos on deck.
And I work a full-time job. I'm a father, fiance, son, and just
man, you wear many hats, man.
Putting in the work. It's probably, I know it's something I'm thinking. I manage an artist.
Okay, wonderful.
401 Trey.
Yep, heard about him.
He just released a single, and he has another new fire single that's coming out.
Okay.
So we getting him ready. We're gonna release a couple singles, and we're gonna work on an album, shooting music videos with him. So definitely a lot of different hats.
Yeah, a lot of different hats, man. My man multifaceted, man.
Yeah, absolutely, boss. Yep.
And everything, but definitely, follow us on social media. Follow, Chris. He's, like I said, great resource, great mentor in the community. Follow Truth Booth Photos. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook under TB Photos as well. And just. Check them out.
They'll be able to click the links below.
Yes.
So the Instagrams, the Facebooks, and everything will be in the link below this video. You guys can go tap into him and tap into his friend,
Truth Booth,
what she has going on, and follow us on social media.
Absolutely.
Contact us if you need any services. We kind of like if we don't have it, we have a community of people who do have those services.
And if you're looking for like building and stuff like that, I'll have we'll add the high school commerce basketball page, and we'll add we'll also add Higher Expectations on 49 Catwell Drive as well, because they do like a lot of sports training programs too. So if kids are looking into that, it's right in Springfield, Mass. They can tap in those services as well too. We're doing great things, and and also he's allowing me to use the space, his gym, to have my event for the STEM Day. And where I'm bringing the companies in. So I appreciate you, Jordan, for that. And we're definitely all of us are gonna build. Tyrell, everybody. So Kamari, all of them, Neek. Shouts out to all of y'all, man.
So this won't be the first one, man. This is just the first one.
The beginning,
this won't be the last one.
Right.
This is just the first one, man. So anything you need from me. Any services I have that can help you in accomplishing your goals, or anything that you have going on, just tap in. We're going.
Same with me too, man. We're tapped in for life. Man.
We tapped in. Absolutely, man. And the universe don't lie.
It doesn't, man. Yes.
So we are here, man. So I appreciate you for coming through.
Yes, I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity and for your time.
Absolutely, boss. So it's another episode of the JUICEBOX Podcast.
JUICEBOX, yes.
We are out. Peace.
Peace.